market share. During the time na na-introduce na, product life cycle to, no? So, ang unang stage ng product is the introduction. Kailangan mo nang i-introduce yung product. Okay? Nang ma-introduce na, next is the growth. Parang dito sa introduction, the company should be able to establish awareness and dapat makilala na siya sa market. Dapat pagka sinerch mo kung ano yung pangalan ng produkto, dapat mag-reflect na siya sa market. So of course, kaya nakalagay dito ang character niya, no, high investment kasi kailangan mag-introduce eh. So, kailangan mong i-push through. Kailangan makilala ka, kailangan gandahan mo yung papel mo, pwede kang mag-commercial, pwede kang magbigay ng mga leaflets, kung ano yung mga benefit ng produkto mo, ano yung pwede kang magkaroon ng mga, halimbawa is mga short narration regarding, halimbawa, kung EVs yung gagamitin mo, what are the benefits of using EVs as compared to the gasoline based vehicles, yung mga ganon, no? Or traditional vehicles, i-compare yung meron bang lumalabas na usok mula sa tambucho. Ang tanong, may tambucho ba ang EVs? Samantalang yung mga traditional vehicles, of course, meron silang tambucho. Yun yung mga high investment na tinatawag. Kailangan mo talagang mag-invest. The company should make an investment para na sa ganun, mas makilala yung product. And then of course, hindi ka pwedeng mag-expect na bigla na lang maganda yung magiging sales volume. So expected na yan na low sales volume kasi nga pinapakilala pa lang sa market. Noon pa lang nakikilala. And then nakalagay, often limited profitability. Konting-konti lang as compared natin dito sa nakalagay na rapid growth in sales. Kasi dito sa part na to or sa stage na to, dapat nakilala na siya. Kaya ang objective ng company is to increase market share, optimize production, and improve profitability. Sino magdidikta ngayon kung nasa ang growth stage ka na? So, nasa planning yan, nasa plan yan. So, halimbawa, pwede mong sabihin na for the first 2 years, nandun kami sa introduction stage. Stage, lahat ng pwede mong gawin para makilala kung depende sa produkto, no? Kung ang produkto mo is yan, katulad nga yung vehicles, actually, maikli yung introduction na 2 years, maikli yan. So, dapat medyo mataas na number of years when it comes to introduction. Kung kailan ka papasok ng growth, again, nasa plano mo yan. Kung kailan mo ini-expect na nasa growth stage ka na. Okay? So, nasa plano yan ng organization kung saan siya papasok when it comes to growth. So, may mga indicator ka dapat na tinitingnan. Halimbawa, nag-set ka ng indicator. So, when we reach the 10,000 sales, we can say na pwede na kaming mag-start dun sa growth stage. And so, to increase market share, optimize production, and improve profitability. So, characteristic, rapid growth in sales, increased consumer acceptance, growing competition. So, challenges covers meeting increased demand, maintaining product quality, and defending against competitors. Ano ngayon ang tingin nyo? Okay, so, tingin nyo, ano dun sa mga nag-e-exist na product ang nasa growth phase na? Kung titingnan natin, okay, increase market share, optimize production, and improve profitability. And then, ito yung objective na to, we cannot see this one kasi wala naman tayo sa loob ng organization. But, yung characteristic niya is makikita natin, rapid growth in sales, increased consumer acceptance, and growing competition. Tingin nyo, doon sa mga nasa market na yan, ano yung masasabi nyo na nasa growth stage na? Anybody?
Ano po yung tanong, ma'am? Pakiulit.
Sa mga available sa market na mga product, Ano yung tingin niyo na nasa growth stage na? Yes, Sir Iniel.
Sa international po siguro yung mga Tesla car, parang ang bilis po ng growth nila. Lalo na po yung latest ngayon na wala nang steering wheel yung mga sasakyan.
Alin, sir? Alin yung Tesla?
Opo, Tesla car.
Tesla cars. Pero yung bang nauusong EVs, hindi ba yung gawa ng Tesla?
Hindi ko sure. Ang latest ko lang pong nakita ngayon sa feed, yung wala nang steering wheel yung mga taxi po na Tesla. Puro screen na lang po.
Ah, ah. May nakita kasi akong EVs. May nakita ko sa FB Reels. Ginamit niya yung EVs papuntang Baguio. Pinakita rin niya kung saan may mga possible na charging station. Pero hindi ko nakita yung brand kung Tesla siya.
Hindi ko rin po sure. Ma'am.
Oo. Meron mga EVs na sa sa Pilipinas na hindi yung mga bike, hindi yung mga motorbike, mga tricycle, hindi yung mga ganun eh. Ano talaga, four wheels. Nakita ko sa FB Reels. Okay? Sir Charlton, nagtataas ka ng kamay kanina.
Yes ma'am, yung in addition po sa nasabi na yung mga EV kasi, bale yan ang parang ano po ngayon na parang nasa development pa lang po 'no. So, Tesla ang nauna pero mabilis ko-match up yung China, eh. So, yung mga EV na
Ah,
nasa Pilipinas karamihan ngayon ano, eh, Chinese po, yung BYD, MG, gano'n. Tapos,
mm.
in the whole world yun po ang bale nasa rate, growth, period. Tapos isa po pong nakikita ko yung sa although
Ano
wala
sir
pa
yung
sa
nasa growth period na?
ano po?
Ano po sir yung sinabi niyo na nasa growth period na?
Ongoing po yung sa mga EV po, pero yung gusto ko pang idagdag is yung nag-start pa lang ngayon yung hydrogen kasi may hydrogen na ng mga bus, motorcycle, tsaka mga mga four-wheel drive po, pero wala pa sa Pilipinas po, eh.
Mm. So nasa
Hydrogen
introduction pa lang yan sir.
na
Wala pa
nasa
yan sa
introduction
growth.
po, nasa introduction. Pero yung
Oo.
mga EV siguro
Na
nasa growth period.
yung EVs nasa introduction pa rin.
Introduction pa rin pala ba?
Oo. Kasi kayo rin hindi kayo familiar. So sabihin, hindi pa kayo naaabot. So nasa introduction pa rin siya.
Opo.
Hindi ba sir?
Hmm, hmm.
Sige po. Thank you
Sige
sir.
po.
So, Ma'am Precious.
Good morning po ulit. Feeling ko po ma'am yung mga e-bike saka e-scooter. Kasi 'di ba po ma'am, halos lahat po parang more on sustainable something na po sila. Yun lang po ma'am feel ko. Thank you po.
O pwede. Pwedeng masabi na natin na nasa growth. Yung mga Taiwan yun eh. Hindi naman lahat China. Parang iba Taiwan. Ano yung mga e-bikes, no? Pero within the Philippines lang. Yung mga e-bikes na yan, hindi naman mga bicycle eh kasi may mga tatlo gulong. So mga tricycle.
Yes po ma'am.
Yan pwede nating masabi na nasa growth na sila kasi halos pati yung mga bukid na reach na nila eh. Okay? So ano pa po yung pwede nyo ma-consider na nasa growth stage na? Ano ba po yung tingin nyo is nasa growth stage na? Dapat dapat kaya nyong basahin kung nasa introduction na ba siya, kung nasa growth na ba siya, nasa decline, and then nasa maturity. Okay? Dapat mabasa nyo yung mga trend na ganon. Yes, Sir Ronel. Sir Ronel, nagtaas ka ng kamay kanina?
Ako ma'am.
Yes po. Pero medyo mahina.
Nasa internet po natin ma'am.
Meron po tayo dito ngayon na bagong tennis po ng satellite. Po.
Hello, sir. Medyo mahina. Hindi ko masyadong dinig o mahina lang yung sound ko.
Sige ma'am, magre-record na
Malakas po ako, sir. Itabot mo ako ng headset ko. Ayun. Hello po, dinig ako?
Yes po.
Yes. Sige. Okay, so Sir Ronel, baka pwedeng paulit ako. Hindi ko masyadong narinig yung sinabi mo kanina.
Yun nga po ma'am sa road safety po sa tingin ko yung sa internet po na dito yung satellite which is yung Starlink ma'am. Kasi dito ma'am, sa tingin ko, ina-adapt na siya ng mga Pilipino na mag-purchase kasi ma'am, hindi po siya naapektuhan ng kahit ano ma'am eh. Bali yung sa bagyo is hindi talaga siya nakakaapekto due to satellite po siya nakakonect and then wala po siyang interruption during pag may naputol na line, hindi po siya na ano, na dadamay. Kumbaga, yun po yung ano ko yun sa may satellite. Bali, yun yung nag-ano sa internet. Kasi over 40 countries na daw po yung may gamit sa Starlink. Which is satellite internet po natin. Yan po.
Okay, sir. Medyo nagkakaroon ako ng problem dun sa aking sounds. Mahina talaga yung dating ko. Okay, so sige sir, naintindihan ko yung sa satellite. Ano po, yung sa mga internet. Tama po ba, Sir Ronel?
Yan po ma'am.
Oo. Yes, pwedeng masabi na natin na nasa growth stage na siya. Kaya lang maraming mga ano eh. Ang tingin ko sir yung mga satellite na to ay nasa maturity na. Lumampas na siya ng growth.
Sa Philippines po ma'am, yung satellite internet na yung nag-offer Starlink.
Mhm. Sige sir. Sir Rainiel, you're raising your hand.
Yes. Hindi ko po sure kung nasa maturity or growth na to. Pero yung e-commerce company po yata
Mhm.
kasi po, since 2020, sa pandemic lang po yata yun nag-start eh. Then parang biglang po yung mga Shopee, mga Lazada.
Nasa ano siya, bago pa mag-pandemic, uso na. Kaya lang mas nag-boom siya nung pandemic. And masasabi na natin nasa growth stage na itong mga e-commerce na to. Kasi na-introduce na siya way before pa na mag-start ang pandemic. So nasa growth na siya. Okay? So other concern? Yes, Sir Charlton.
Yung isa pa natin, yung isa pa po nating masabi na nasa growth stage. Kasi pag sinabi natin nasa growth stage, bali bumilis yung benta, yung development tsaka yung sales and the availability ay yun ang characteristic. Isa pong masabi natin doon yung sa renewable energy, yung mga solar panel po. Kasi 'di ba naging in yung solar panel, yung mga renewable, so ang daming gustong mag-solar na yung mga factory, yung mga bahay, even yung mga bahay. Kasama rin yung mga iba pang renewable po na may mga wind turbine, mga gano'n po. Pero I think yung solar panel, yung mga PV cells ang masabi nating pumasok sa sa growth stage po.
Yes po, sir. Opo. Tama po yung observation niyo. Nasa growth stage na nga itong part ng solar panel na to. Okay? So, kasi na-introduce na siya way back pa. Matagal lang na-introduce. Ang tagal na introduction niya eh. Kasi others are really um, aiming for low power consumption, low electricity bill. Tagal na. Tapos parang biglang nag-boom nung mauso yung mga solar powered lights. Yan. So, doon siya lalo nakilala. Yes po, Sir JV.
So ayan po, good morning ulit ma'am. Actually ma'am, medyo nag-aalangan po ako kung part po siya ng growth stage. Yung sa mga home automation devices po like yung smart speaker na meron pong yung tinatawag na Alexa, Google Assistant, and Siri. Part pa rin po ba siya ng growth stage? Kasi I think 20 before pandemic, nag-start na rin po yun eh.
Oo.
How consider
Ang
yun, ma'am?
mm. Ang problem dito sa mga home assistants na to ay hindi na siya naka-categorize as isa sa smart smart house o home automation kasi napunta na siya sa part ng AI. Ang AI ang nasa growth stage na. Kasi nagkaroon na siya ng ang tagal na-introduce siya napaka short period lang yung kanyang introduction sa AI. Pero ang dami ng mga versions, no?
Yes po.
Ang dami ng mga versions na lumalabas. Okay? Tapos very much accepted na siya ng public. Doon siya magpo-fall, Sir JV, sa AI. Hindi na siya sa smart or sa home automation. Sa AI na po siya.
Okay po ma'am, thank you po.
Okay po. Okay? So, meron pa po bang other comment regarding the growth? So, let's move now dun sa susunod na stage niya, which is the maturity. Okay? So, introduction, growth, and then maturity. To maximize profitability while defending market position. So, yun yung objective niya. So, dapat kasi, tuloy-tuloy, dapat dire-diretso lang. Or kaya naman, yung kanyang na-reach na niya yung pinaka-maximum ng kanyang sales target o kanya ng profit target niya. So, yung characteristic niya includes sales peak, market saturation begins, intense competition, and then price adjustment. So, challenges covers retaining customers, differentiating from competitors, finding new market segments, and managing production costs. Now, for this part, can you name some product that we can say is nasa maturity stage na? Anybody? Yes, Sir JV.
So I think ma'am, yung mga nasa maturity stage na po yung smartphones. Kasi sobrang dami na rin pong competitors like yung Apple, Samsung. So, yun po yung naisip ko as product na under na po with maturity stage. And also po yung sa mga TV technology, yung mga LED po. So, marami na rin pong competitors, mga innovation na mga competitors like yung sa tawag dito, yung mga different brand po ng TV. So, yun po yung mga naisip ko as part of the maturity stage. Thank you
Oo,
po.
yes, oo. Tama ka dun, sir. So, nasa maturity na yung mga smartphones. Yan, meron pa po ba kayong naisip na mga product na pwede nating masabi na nasa maturity na? Yes po, Sir Rainiel.
Siguro po yung mga soft drinks, especially yung Pepsi sa Coca-Cola. Siguro.
Mhm.
Mga,
Mga soft drinks, okay? Mhm. puwede sir kasi nag-aano na sila, nagta-try na silang mag-venture sa iba pa pang, ah, carbonated drinks. Yes po. Yes, Ma'am Precious.
Sa akin po, ma'am, I think medyo related po kay Sir JV, pero yung sa mga laptop po, o tsaka mga desktop, more on parang nag-a-upgrade po sila. Siguro po nagpapataas na lang po ng processor, tapos yung ibang mga laptop po, I think parang nauuso na po yung mga nafi-flip, tapos nata-touchscreen.
Mhm.
So I think po nasa maturity stage na sila.
Okay, oh. Tama po kayo dun, Ma'am Precious. Okay, so computers, laptops, so nasa maturity stage na sila. Other concern po or other comment regarding sa maturity? Okay, so let's move with the other stage. The last stage is the decline. So objective, to manage the product's end of life, to minimize cost, and maximize remaining profitability. So what are the characteristics for the decline stage? Declining or decreasing sales, reduce demand, and increase replacement products. So for the challenges, bakit siya naging increase replacement products? 'Di ba? Sabihin, maraming mga spare parts na available. So pag maraming spare parts na available, sabihin, maraming mga hindi na nag-upgrade or maraming hindi na nagre-repair kasi they feel that the product is no longer in trend and they want to switch to the new product. So what are the challenges? Reducing cost, discontinuing unprofitable products, and potentially shifting resources to new product lines. Okay, so just like do sa mga nauna natin kanina, ano tingin yung example ng decline? Ako magbibigay, baka may mauna sa akin. Yes, Sir JV.
Natawa naman ako dun, ma'am.
Medyo natawa din ako dun. So anyway, yung isip ko po is same pa rin po sa smartphone, but specifically po with the Nokia.
Mhm.
Kasi po 'di ba nag-start po sila keypad. So in demand po talaga sila during that year. Tapos eventually nag-decline na po yung kanilang product. Kasi nga po marami na lumabas sa mga smart.
Mhm.
Yun po.
Okay, sige sir. Agree naman ako sa Nokia. Ma'am Precious, may sasabihin ka pa ba?
Ma'am, mga landline po sana.
Landlines. Uy, wala, hindi pwede.
Hindi ba po ba? Kasi parang feeling ko po more on phones na po. Pero may mga nag-offer pa rin naman po ng mga landline, mga PLDT,
Siguro
ganun po.
nasa maturity na si landlines, pero na totally nasa decline. Kasi pagka sinabi natin nasa end of life na sila eh. Hindi pa naman end of life ni landline. Nasa
Ay
maturity,
po,
pwede nating
ma'am.
masabi.
Thank you
Oo.
po.
Regine.
Ma'am, siguro sa akin yung mga compact disc po, mga CDs po kasi pwede na siya i-direct na sa phone, sa laptop,
Oo.
na-download na lang. Di na siya, dati kasi need pa ilagay sa CD para makakinig ng music or makanood ng mga movies. Mga ganun po.
Tama ka doon. Tama ka doon, Ma'am Regina, no? Yung mga CD, DVD, ayan. So, yun yung mga talagang nasa decline stage na. Yes, Sir Charlton, nag-raise ka ng hand kanina.
Yes po. Aside from yung mga CD, DVD, yung VHS, yung camera na di-click, di ba? Tapos yung mga pager kasi wala na nagpe-pager ngayon kasi
Wala na
ma-
nagpe-page, oo.
mabilis na mag-text na. Tapos mga landline phone po noon, halos na nawala na rin. Tapos yung mga desktop calculators, mga ganun po. Tapos yung sa mga appliances po, manual washing machine, wala na yata halos
Meron pa,
nagpo-produce
sir.
nun.
Marami pang
Konti, meron pa rin.
manual
Sige po.
washing
Baka,
machine,
baka sa
oo.
ibang bansa.
Ako,
Tapos yung mga ibang,
mukhang nasa high-end community si Sir Charlton.
hindi. Yung mga TV,
Okay.
yung analog TV, wala na siguro. Na puro,
Ayun, analog TV,
yung
yes.
mga
Oo, nasa decline stage
dilipat-lipat.
na.
Opo. cassette player,
Oo.
record players, gano'n.
Oo,
Tapos
yes.
sa mga sakyan naman yung mga ibang yung mga lumaan na like, pero meron pa rin 'to lead acid battery yata meron pa rin ano? Tsaka yung mga
Akala ko yung mga two-stroke
oh,
sa
yung mga
motor.
two-stroke po, yung mga 'di ba, pero matagal na yung mga steam engine, yung mga gano'n po na ano, pero talagang ano na yun, na phase out na because of technology po.
Yes, opo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Charlton. Sir Spencer, nagtaas ka ng kamay kanina? Bago si Ma'am Regine.
Nabanggit na po, ma'am. Okay na po.
Okay. Sige, Ma'am Regine.
Daw po. Ma'am, pasok pa ba yung newspaper? Kasi ang newspaper, pwede na siya sa internet. Yung mga balita, pwede na natin makakuha sa internet eh. Eh, newspaper, parang madalang na po ata siya ngayon.
Meron pa rin naman, Ma'am Regine. Hindi naman hindi naman ganun ka. Sige, Sir Ronel.
Sa may bahay, peace breaker po natin.
Sorry, sir? Sorry, Sir Ronel. Pakiulit nga po.
Hello po.
Opo. Sige, sir. Sige, sir. Hindi ko nakikinig.
Hello, ma'am. Rinig po ako?
Hello, sir.
Hello po. Rinig po ako, ma'am.
Opo, sir. Bahagya. Medyo mahina lang.
Yung use po natin dati sa bahay, yung disposable. Tapos ngayon po, is naka-virtual na po halos lahat ng bahay.
Medyo mahina talaga.
Ma'am.
Sige, sir. Balikan kita mamaya. Si Sir Rainier po muna.
Try lang po. Bali yung mga paper-based na dictionaries,
Yes. Oo.
mga
Wala. Yung mga encyclopedia, sir, yung Britannica. Meron pa nasa bahay na lang. Pero they were
parang pang-display na lang po kasi.
Oo, kasi ang problem kasi sa encyclopedia na naka-print, hindi naman sila na-update ng kusa. Eh syempre, halimbawa, kung practical kang tao, after 5 years, medyo obsolete na yung content ng mga encyclopedia na yon, 'di ba? So, saan ka makukuha ng mas updated na data? Syempre, sa internet. Tama ka dun, sir. At least magandang tingnan yung library mo sa bahay. Kung meron
Meron pa po isa, siguro po yung, hindi po sure, pero mga flash drive. May isa na lang din po makakita. Dahil nga po may mga cloud-based
yes.
flash.
Pero wala pa siya sa decline, sir. Nasa maturity pa lang siya. Okay? So, yes, Sir Mark. Fuse box. Oo. Thank you, Sir Ronel. Yung fuse box. Oo.
Ma'am, yung mga typewriters.
Typewriters, yes. Typewriter. Nasa decline stage na rin typewriter. Yes po, Sir Rainiel. Nagre-raise ka ng hand?
Hindi ko lang po na.
Okay, so that is the last stage of product life cycle. Okay? We also have the strategies. Ito, mga strategies naman na ginagamit to extend the product life cycle. So, we have the following. Okay? So, una yung design updates and product refreshes. Ito yung ginagawa ng ibang mga company, no? So, parang nagkakaroon lang sila ng version to attract new customers or retain existing ones by introducing updates that address consumer needs or incorporate new technologies. Example nito, yung mga annual or biannual updates to smartphone models, katulad ng Apple's iPhone, wherein slight design or feature upgrades encourage customers to continue purchasing. Another is the cost reduction. So, to maintain profitability, profitability as demand increases or competition increases by lowering manufacturing costs. So example nito, yung mga automakers, they simplify production by using standardized parts across models, which reduces cost while maintaining product quality. Parang they can replace the parts of the automobiles nang hindi na kailangan na yung particular brand na yon yung gamitin mo. You can use yung mga standard parts na available sa market. Another is the finding new markets or application. So to expand the product's appeal to different demographics or geographic regions or to identify alternative uses. Example niyan, maganda example, baking soda. So yung baking soda originally made for cooking ingredient, but they found new life as a cleaning product and even as an odor neutralizer. Okay? Another is the marketing and promotions to maintain consumer interest and attract late adopters through targeted marketing and promotional strategies. So, kasama na dito yung mga discounts, loyalty programs, bundle offers, which encourage sales during maturity and early decline phases. Yung end-of-life planning naman, to responsibly manage the product's decline, often involving recycling programs, selling remaining inventory at discounted prices, or transitioning customers to new product. Example nito, yung mga companies katulad ng Dell and Apple, meron silang buyback and recycling programs that encourage customers to return old devices rather than discard them. So, yun yung mga end-of-life planning nila. Okay? So, that's for my first topic. Okay? So, allow me to present my other topic. Maaga pa naman, so i-discuss ko na yung pangalawa. So, this one is medyo maikli lang siya. Okay? So, share ko lang po uli. Kita na po, no? So, next, identifying customer needs. Okay? Okay, so identifying customer needs. So, if we are going to produce a new product, okay, so we need to identify what are the needs of the customer. Okay, so we need to identify ano ba yung mga kailangan nila. So, start by defining customer needs as the specific problems, desires, or requirements that the product must address to be relevant and useful to its intended audience. So customer needs served as the backbone of product design and development. So this the needs stated by the customers guides the manufacturer from everything from initial concept to final features. So parang ganito, isasabihin mo sa sarili mo, ano ba yung palagi mong ginagamit na product? So ano ba yung mga problema? Bakit mo ginagamit yon? Ano yung sa kasalukuyang ginagamit mong product? Ano ba yung tingin mong problema? Okay? Then, paano ba paano ba yung mga needs na to na kailangan mo? Paano yun nakaka-impluwensya kung paano ka pipili ng product? Okay? So, we need to consider the following points. So, emphasize the customer needs can be explicit. When we say explicit, this is clearly stated. Like, sasabihin niya, ay, kailangan ko na smartphone. Oh, kailangan ko na smartphone na merong mahabang battery life. Yan. Yun yung explicit. Sinabi niya, kung ano yung kailangan niya. Meron din namang implicit. Yan. Hindi niya sinabi kung ano yung kailangan niya, pero sinabi niya kung ano yung makakaginhawa sa kanya. Example, kailangan kong marinig yung sinasabi nung kausap ko sa laptop ng walang nakakarinig na iba. So of course, ang isipin mo dun, kailangan niya ng headphones. Pero sasabihin ng customer, gusto ko yung hindi sumasakit yung tenga ko, yung parang wala lang. So, kailangan niya ng comfortable headphones. So, you need to read between the lines. What are the needs of the customer? So, palaging gano'n naman usually, di ba? So, hindi kailangang sabihin ng customer kung ano yung kailangan niya kasi minsan si customer mismo hindi niya alam kung ano yung kailangan niya. So, the role of the product designer and developer is to identify what are the needs of the customer based on their statement. Now, why is there a need to identify the needs of the customer? So, una yung market success nating tinatawag. So, products that meet actual customer needs are more likely to succeed because they fulfill real demands. So, market-oriented products often have a better reception since they solve tangible problems. Okay? So, another is the design efficiency. So, when a company clearly understand what customers need, they can focus on essential features, avoiding unnecessary or complex additions. So this approach reduces development costs and streamline the design process. Okay? Another is the customer satisfaction and loyalty. When a product effectively meets customer needs, it builds trust, satisfaction, and loyalty. Parang halimbawa lang bumibili ka lang sa suki mo. Halimbawa, punta ka palengke, bili ka ng karne, hindi ka bibili sa kung kangi-kanino lang na karne. Bumibili ka dun sa suki mo kasi alam mo na yung tinitinda niya ay sariwa at tama ang timbang. Paano mo nalaman na sariwa at tama ang timbang? Kasi based on your experience na palagi mong binibilan yung suki mo na yon, napatunayan mo na yung kanyang tinitinda ay sariwa at tama ang timbang. Iyon yung sinasabi rito na customer satisfaction and loyalty. So customers, as one customer uses the product, they build trust, satisfaction, and loyalty to that particular brand. So customers are more likely to repurchase or recommend the product if it consistently solves their problems or meets their expectations. Okay? So, let's look at this Dyson vacuum cleaner. Ang nakita ko hindi siya Dyson vacuum, kundi, sorry, wala pala ako ritong vacuum cleaner ng Dyson. Wala pala akong picture ng Dyson vacuum cleaner. This one is nagsimula mula dun sa Dyson Swiffer. If you are familiar with the Dyson Swiffer, which is para siyang map na binalutan yung map na hindi bilog kundi lapad. Malapad siya. And then, meron siyang balot na tela. Yun yung Dyson Swiffer. Okay? So, let's look at this Dyson cleaner na to. So, the Dyson vacuum cleaner is an example of product that succeeded by addressing a specific unmet customer need. So, before Dyson's innovation, traditional vacuum used bags, which reduce suction power as they filled up. So, frustrating users with diminished performance. So, what are the identified problems? So, James Dyson, the one who built the vacuum cleaner, observed that traditional vacuum cleaners experience clogging and reduce suction over time due to the use of bags. So, the customers needed a vacuum that maintained powerful suction without constant maintenance or replacement bags. So with that, Dyson developed a bagless vacuum cleaner using cyclone technology, which provided powerful, consistent suction and eliminated the need for replacement bags. So by addressing these pain points, that is the pain points, no, yung reklamo ng mga customer. Dyson's product quickly gained traction, leading to widespread adoption and setting a new standard in the vacuum cleaner market. So that's how the Dyson vacuum becomes popular. So there are different techniques on how you're going to uh, gather data for the customer needs. So yung una, we have the surveys and questionnaires. Surveys and questionnaires are widely used to collect quantitative data from a large audience. When well structured, they can provide insights into customer preferences, a common pain points, and purchasing behaviors. This method is effective for identifying broad patterns and trends. So, ano yung mga nakikita nating mga surveys and questionnaires? So, example, yung mga electronic companies, they use surveys to determine the most desired features. Halimbawa, ng bagong smartphones. They may ask questions about battery life, camera quality, screen size, to understand which features customers prioritizes most. Of course, there are some advantages of using questionnaires. Survey questionnaires and surveys. So surveys can reach a large audience, providing a broad understanding of preferences and trends. They are relatively cost effective and can be administered online for faster data collection. Limitations include surveys often have limited depth. They may not capture the reason behind preferences or complex feelings about a product. So, poorly designed surveys can lead to biased responses or low quality data. Another is the interview. Okay, interviews are qualitative method that allows for detailed, in-depth exploration of customer needs, challenges, and motivations. Meron tayong tinatawag na mga open-ended questions. Interviews encourage customers to elaborate on their experiences, often uncovering unexpected insights. Example, so yung mga automotive manufacturers, they use interview to understand how drivers interact with vehicle features like infotainment system, seating comfort, and storage space. The feedback helps improve the design and usability of these features. For the advantages and disadvantages of interviews, so for advantage, interviews allow for follow-up question. Pwede yun, di ba? Magpa-follow-up question ka. Depende kung ano yung sinagot ng user or ng consumer. So this gives a deeper understanding of the why behind customer preferences and pain points. Another is they can uncover detailed insights and emotions that surveys may miss, revealing specific product use, challenges, and motivations. So for the limitations, interviews can be time-consuming and may only represent a small sample size, limiting the generalizability of findings. Hindi naman kasi pwedeng kung halimbawa ay 50, mai-interview mo ba ay 50. So maaaring hugot-hugot lang ng mga respondents ang pwede mong ma-interview. They require skilled interviewers to avoid bias and ensure the customer feels comfortable sharing honest feedback. Okay? So, another one is the interviews, focus groups. So, another is the focus group. So, focus groups involve a small group of potential customers. discussing their needs, preferences, and experiences with the moderator's guidance. This setting encourages interaction, revealing diverse perspectives, and how customers' view may influence each other. So, what are the advantages? So, focus group can reveal the influence of social dynamics on preferences as participants may express opinions they had not considered before hearing others' perspective. Parang na-convince sila dahil narinig nila mula dun sa kasama nila kung ano yung feature ng isang product. So they also allow researchers to observe reactions to other ideas, potentially uncovering areas of concern or areas of strong consensus or disagreement. Yung limitations naman, groupthink can occur where individuals are influenced by opinions or more vocal participants, potentially skewing results. So focus groups can be challenging to manage effectively. So this is actually the problem of most organizations. Although focus group is a good source of information, it is also very challenging to manage effectively. If the focus group will not be able to manage effectively, therefore there will be a problem in gathering, what do you call that? Gathering true data. Okay? So another is the observational research o yung tinatawag nating ethnography. Observational research or ethnography involves studying customers in their natural environments to understand how they interact with products. So this method provides insights into real-world behaviors and contexts that might not emerge through direct questioning. Example nito yung sa IKEA, no? The uses of their observational research by visiting customers' homes to see how they use storage and furniture. So observing how people organize their spaces helps IKEA design space efficient, multifunctional furniture tailored to real needs. Another is the customer feedback and reviews. Okay? So yung customer feedback and reviews, including online reviews, support calls, and feedback forms, offers real-world insights into customer satisfaction, preferences, and issues. So this data provides a wealth of information on recurring pain points and appreciated features based on actual product use. Meron din siyang advantages. So, they offer a high volume of data for recurring teams. And the data collected from user feedback is often easy to collect from existing sources, making it cost-effective. However, meron din siyang limitations. The feedback of the customers may either be very positive or very negative, which are more likely to leave feedbacks to the product. So the data collected from this customer feedback lacks the structured depth of targeted research method and may need filtering to identify valuable, actionable insights. So how are you going to organize and analyze the customer needs? So, meron tayong tinatawag na different approach. Yung una nga ay yung tinatawag nating affinity diagram. So, an affinity diagram helps group related ideas to identify pattern or themes among customer needs. By organizing data from interview, surveys, and focus groups, teams can identify core themes that are critical for design decisions. In this example, the group were able to identify 5 ideas from the surveys na nakolekta nila. Okay? So, yung mga surveys na yan, yung mga comment from the surveys, inilagay nila as either under the criteria of user education and support, system efficiency and acceptability, notifications, functionality enhancements, and the UI design or the user interface design. So another aside from affinity diagram, Okay? How are you going to, what are the needed key points if ever you're going to use the affinity diagram? So first, you need to identify the pattern. Okay? So an affinity diagram highlights recurring themes, making it easier to identify what matters most to customers. So you must identify the pattern. Another, you must simplify complexity. So raw data from customers and surveys can be overwhelming. So this method simplifies information, making it manageable and focus on main areas. Another is the building consensus. So by visually grouping feedback, the team can reach a common understanding of core customer needs. Okay? So that is for the key points when it comes to affinity diagram. Another is the Kano model. So ano yung mga Kano model na to? So the Kano model is a framework for categorizing customer needs into 5 categories based on their impact on satisfaction. So it helps prioritize features by determining which aspects are essential and which could provide added value. Meron tayong mga categories kapag gagamitin natin yung Kano model na to. Meron tayong must-have, performance needs, delighters, indifferent, and dissatisfiers. Okay? So yung must-have, eto sa part na to, kung nakikita nyo yung aking mouse, this is the must-haves. So essential features that customer expect. If these are missing, the product will not meet basic expectations. Okay? So yung performance needs naman, this one, the performance needs, features where more is better, directly impacting satisfaction. Improvement in these areas generally increases customer satisfaction proportionally. Okay? So, kaya kung titingnan natin, pataas siya, sabihin, yung customer emotion natin is mataas when it comes to performance. Okay? Next. So we also have the delighters, which is the unexpected features that add significant value and can differentiate the product from competitors. Ano yung significant value na meron yung iyong product? Yan, kung titingnan natin yung delighters natin at i-consider natin yung customer emotions, we can see na paakyat yung kanya. Ibig sabihin, we have a good customer satisfaction. We also have the indifferent. So features that do not affect customer satisfaction significantly. Yan. So kailangan yung makita kung ano yung mga indifferent features. And we also have the dissatisfiers, features that customers dislike or find unappealing. Okay? Okay, so example, sa smartphone, yung must-have might be reliable battery life as customer expect the phone to last throughout the day. Yung performance naman, performance feature can be screen resolution where higher quality increases satisfaction. And then sa delighter might be a wireless charging feature which is unexpected but adds value. Okay? So, in using this Kano model, you need to have the following key points. First, prioritizing essentials versus extras. So, huwag ipa-prioritize ang extra. So, ano lang yung mga essential, yun muna dapat ang masatisfy mo. Yung mga must-have, prioritizing essentials. The Kano model helps team distinguish between what is essential for meeting customer expectations and what can create excitement. Okay? Ano yung matutuwa yung mga customer pero hindi siya kasama sa basic needs ng product. Okay? Another is avoiding over investment in different features. It's easy to focus on adding features, madaling magdagdag eh. but some may have impact satisfaction. Knowing what is indifferent prevents unnecessary design complexity. So tingin nyo, kailangan ba talaga yon? Kung hindi naman siya kailangan, pero makakadagdag yon sa feature ng product, go. Pero know what is the term indifferent. If that is not related to the product, you may opt not to include the features. Another one is the competitive differentiation through delighters. Yan. So delighters can set a product apart, creating a memorable experience that boosts brand perception. Okay? So, competitive differentiation. Note that when we're going to release a product, it's always the customer that benefits from the product that we're going to release. And also, the feedback that came from them will also help lift kung ano man yung product natin. Kung paano siya magiging popular, kung paano siya maire-recommend sa iba. The lighters are considered one of the big help in providing this particular need of the company to lift or to make the product known. Okay? So another, aside from Kano model, we have the hierarchy of needs analysis. Okay, hierarchy of needs involves prioritizing customer needs based on their importance to satisfaction and the feasibility of implementation. It enables teams to focus on high impact feasible features, balancing customer importance with resource constraints. Example, yung car company, they may prioritize fuel efficiency, which means high customer design, demand, and feasible to achieve over less frequently requested features katulad ng sunroof, yan, so which is lower demand and possibly harder to implement. So by focusing on essential, feasible features, they meet core customer needs while managing resources effectively. So what are the key points for this hierarchy of needs analysis? Una, balance customer value with feasibility. So not every important feature is feasible due to budget. Unang-una, budget. Pangalawa, technical limitations. And then pangatlo is time constraints. The hierarchy help the team to prioritize feasible, high-value features. There's a difference also. Another key points. There's a difference between impact and investment. Some features have high impact with relatively low investment. Example, software improvement. So, if there is a high impact with low investment, it makes the organization and the consumer in win-win situation. Others, ka, others, although they are impactful, may require more expensive or extensive resources katulad ng bagong hardware. Yan. Another key points when it comes to this hierarchy of needs is the decision-making framework. So this analysis provides a decision-making framework guiding the product team to focus on what will maximize the satisfaction while staying within practical limit. Okay? So another, how are we going to turn the customer needs into product requirements? Okay? So we have a different uh, steps or procedure. Okay? So first is turning insights into specification. Once customer needs are identified, it's crucial to translate them into specific, measurable product requirements. So these specifications provide a clear and actionable direction for engineers and designers, ensuring that the product aligns with customer expectations in concrete terms. Example, yung sa smartphone, A customer need is for long battery life. So this might translate into a requirement that the battery lasts at least 24 hours on a single charge. Similarly, kapag ka laptop naman ang laptops need naman is to have a clear display, could translate into a requirement for a minimum screen resolution of 1080 pixels. Okay? So, dito sa part na to ng turning insights into specification, we need to have the following key points. First is to define the measurable criteria. Specifications need to be quantifiable so that they can be designed and tested effectively. Vague needs like comfortable. Pagka sinabi mo, how will you measure the term comfortable? So this can be breakdown into adjustable strap length o kaya naman is lightweight materials. Another is the engineering feasibility. So translating needs into specification also allows engineers to assess feasibility. They can evaluate if the required technology, materials, and processes are available within budget constraints. And then, of course, we have ensuring consistency. Specifications create consistency across development, manufacturing, and quality control, helping ensure that the final products meet customer expectations reliably. So we also have the quality function deployment. Okay. So after turning insights into specifications, next is the quality function deployment. So this is a systematic approach for translating customers o yung tinatawag nating the voice of the customer into detailed product requirements. So using a tool called House of Quality, the QFD helped the team prioritize customer needs and align them with technical capabilities, ensuring that the most critical aspects are addressed. Ano ba yung tinatawag nating House of Quality Matrix? Yung House of Quality Matrix is the primary tool in QFD, representing the relationship between customer needs and technical specifications. It consists of the customer requirements, which is the what. This covers the list of customer needs, typically ranked by importance. We also have the technical requirements or the how, engineering specifications that meet these customer needs. Okay? And we also have the relationship matrix. This matrix shows the strength of the relationship between each customer between each customer need and each technical specification. Example, strong, medium, or weak. We also have the competitive benchmarking, often includes a comparison of how well competitors meet these needs, guiding the design priorities. Example, this is an example of the House of Quality Matrix, no? Yan. So, meron tayo dito sa gilid na customer requirements. Ito, this is the what. Okay, ano yung mga customer requirements? And then, this is the relationship. Ito, nakalagay. Pag plus, strongly positive. Pag minus, strongly negative. Okay? Pagka plus na merong bilog, strongly positive. Minus na merong bilog, strongly negative. Plus is positive, minus is negative. Okay? And then, ito yung competitive assessment niya. Okay? And then, this is the importance. Okay? Now, meron siyang competitive benchmarking kasi kailangang i-compare sa ibang brand, ibang company, yung product. Okay? Now, okay. So, what are the key points for discussion when it comes to this House of Matrix? Okay? House of Quality Matrix. Okay? So, una, prioritizing feature based on customer importance. Yan. Sorry. So, prioritizing features based on customer importance. QFD ensures that critical needs are given higher priority in technical specification. Example, if brew time is a high priority needed for coffee drinkers, heating elements and brewing machine will receive more focus. Balancing competing needs. So some technical requirements may satisfy multiple customer needs while others may introduce trade-offs. Example, yung car lightweight for fuel efficiency might compromise durability, requiring careful prioritization. Baka matatapos na ha. And then we have benchmarking against competitors. So also QFD also includes competitor analysis, allowing teams to understand how their product can differentiate based on which needs are met better than competitors. Okay? So we also have the ano pa? Ito yung mga questions natin, mga final reflection questions reflecting on the value of translating needs into specification. Una, why is it important to involve customers early in the product development process and translate their needs into measurable specifications? Number two, what challenges might team face in balancing customer needs with technical and budgetary constraints? And three, how do you think this structured approach to defining requirements can impact a product's overall success in the market? Okay? Okay, so then let's go with the case study. Case studies, the case studies of customer-driven design. So the first one is of course yung Apple iPhone, innovation rooted in customer understanding. So Apple iPhone is a prime example of customer-driven design that has led to groundbreaking success. From the start, Apple focused on understanding customer needs related to usability, durability, and aesthetic appeal. So by continuously gathering feedback and prioritizing essential features, Apple has kept the iPhone relevant, appealing, and iconic in the smartphone market. What are the customer needs addressed by the iPhone? So sabi natin kanina, usability. Apple prioritizes an intuitive interface and user-friendly navigation, making the iPhone accessible to a broad audience. Features like multi-touch gestures and a simplified home screen reduce complexity. We also have the durability. So Apple invests in materials that provide both aesthetic appeal and durability, like the Gorilla Glass and the aluminum. This not only enhances the phone's look, but also ensures it withstands daily wear. Another is the appeal. Aesthetic appeal. So the iPhone sleek design has set standards for smartphones aesthetics. Apple recognizes that customers value a product that looks and feels premium, which strengthens brand loyalty. Okay. For the uh, key points, we have the customer centricity. So Apple's research consistently reveals customers' pain points and desires, which inform every design choice. Example, the focus on high quality camera, longer battery life, and sleek design addresses core needs for communication, entertainment, and usability. For iterative improvement, Apple's commitment to improve camera quality, battery life, and screen resolution reflects its responsiveness to user demand. So each new iPhone model addresses feedback from previous versions, creating a continuous cycle of customer-centered improvement. Then the other one is the integration with customer ecosystem. So features like iCloud, FaceTime, and Seamless integration with other Apple products, address customer needs for connectivity, storage, and convenience, enhancing the value of the entire Apple ecosystem. Another is this one is the Swiffer, addressing unmet needs in home cleaning. So the sweeper actually created by the P&G is a classic example of innovation rooted in deep customer empathy. So P&G discovered that people were frustrated with traditional mapping, which was time consuming.
Nagda-download sila.